Hello and welcome to the news segment on HOMEF TV. I am Kome Odomo. First, the highlights. School of Ecology addresses fossil addiction and healing in oil-impacted communities. CAPA urges the government to solve water inaccessibility in Nigeria. Gele community demands the end to gas exploitation. We the People takes campaign to communities, holds oil companies and their partners accountable. Oil well abandonment, the legacy beneath. Welcome back, and now the news in details. In a bid to address the pressing issues of fossil addiction and healing in communities impacted by oil exploration, Health of Moderates Foundation, HOMEF, organized a two-day School of Ecology on the theme, Winning from Fossil Addiction and Healing Territories, aimed to raise awareness by the devastating impacts of crude oil exploration on communities and the environment, emphasizing the urgent need to transition to sustainable energy sources. Our correspondent Esile Ojanelo completes the report.
Participants, including community members from Okorotip and Eteo, and representatives from civil society organizations and scholars, explored various topics related to healing and combating ecological harms. Through discussions, workshops, and artistic expressions, such as folklore, music, and poetry, participants delved into the interconnectedness of climate change, ecological trauma, and societal well-being. They emphasized the importance of community resilience and traditional healing practices in confronting eco-anxiety and associated traumas. Different speakers charged participants to build resilience and advocate for impacted communities.
We have seen that the road to healing is still far, and a wholesome healing for traumatized people cannot be achieved in 1 year. Therefore, we have decided to continue in the discussions around healing, figuring out how our culture of life can help us pave the way to the healing of our territories and our people.
Some of the oil wells that were shut down in the 70s are still leaking oil. It's still leaking today as we speak and polluting the environment. Now, we're looking at all these examples to remind ourselves that we're talking about a matter of life or death, and we can't allow criminal activities to continue without being stopped.
You have peace in the absence of justice. The point I'm making is that before you talk about looking for peace in the Niger Delta region, you first need to own up and admit that you created the conflict in the first place.
Reflecting on the event, attendees expressed renewed determination to advocate for environmental justice and community healing. Participants also pledged to advocate for the preservation of fossil fuels in the ground, holding governments and corporations accountable for environmental degradation.
Howbeit, there is high need for sustainable healing. Healing is very important. We can't run away from that. So efforts should be strategically generated to direct the focus of the community to the healing remedies embedded in their folk culture.
The session concluded with a reading of the poem collection, I See the Invisible, leaving participants inspired and empowered to continue their efforts towards a sustainable and equitable future. The School of Ecology's initiative signifies a crucial step towards fostering dialogue, promoting healing, and advocating for solutions that prioritize people and the planet over profits. Esile Ojanelo, HOMEF TV.
Health of Moderates Foundation held a training for judicial officers to raise awareness on the implications of genetic modified organisms and genetic modified crops and their effects on biosafety and human rights. Onome Etisioro, who was at the event, reports that the event had in attendance judicial officers, from judges to magistrates to court clerks and officers. The report.
The event was geared towards educating members of the judicial arm on the existing and unchecked circulation of genetically modified organisms within Nigeria, aided by the very agencies put in place to stand as the gatekeepers and the legal ramifications. One of the keynote speakers, Dr. Ifeanyi Kasmir, emphasized that the reason for judicial training was to educate the judges and magistrates about what GMOs are, so they will be well equipped to handle the cases when they come before their courts. The executive director of HOMEF, Nimo Basi, also spoke on the importance of biosafety to everyone both for security as well as for the climate. He spoke on the suspicious activities of biotechnology, the dangers of GMOs, and how Nigeria has opened its borders to GMOs, becoming overrun with these unnatural crops, killing the biodiversity in Nigeria.
We don't want those who are promoting the GMOs in Nigeria to be also on the board of the agency that's regulating. We want a situation where there is real strict liability, so that if anyone brings in GMOs, either crops or animals to Nigeria, and their adverse effects, whether at the moment of introduction or years down the road, they should be held accountable.
He heralded the judicial arm as the last frontier and hoped that the training would share information and knowledge to everyone present to ensure food justice and sovereignty in Nigeria. Onome Etusiro for HOMEF TV.
As the world celebrates World Water Day and raises awareness, most Nigerians still live without access to potable, safe and clean water, both in rural and urban areas in the country. Concerns about access still exist, as some activists call on public office holders at all levels to reject water privatization and improve access to clean water. Mabel Obaseki reports that this call was made at a press briefing and sensitization program in Lagos, organized by the Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa. The reports.
As part of activity to mark World Water Day, it was discovered that the community lacked access to clean and potable water for over 10 years as a result of water contamination. Community members stated that when an excavating company worked on a bridge construction commissioned by the Lagos State government damaged an oil pipeline belonging to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, in the area, causing it to leak, contaminating the water within the environs. Executive Director of Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa, CAPA, Akimbode Oluwafemi, called for an increased budgetary allocation to revitalize the performance of the water sector, adding that it will also include refurbishing dilapidated infrastructure, upgrading existing waterworks, and building new facilities to ensure widespread access to clean and safe drinking water.
The bridge project that is near us here, along that canal, through the Lagos State government or local government, they came there to start the project. They were even executing it. Then they brought their machineries and all that. Then they now dug, with their machinery, they dug into the ground along this road. So they said the one of the machines now got in contact with the pipe.
Yàtọ̀ fún ká fi flush kò tiẹ̀ ṣe é fọ aṣọ gan dáhùn tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yẹn ààrẹ fi fọṣọ tẹ́yìn bá fi fọ white ó ti bàjẹ́ kò lè wọ̀ mọ́ kì í sọ̀rọ̀ ọdún mẹ́wàá tá a ti ń ra pure water ọdún mẹ́wàá sẹ́yìn láti ń ra pure water àdúgbò àìdẹ́ ra pure water tẹ́lẹ̀ bọ́ọ̀wù là ń mu tẹ́lẹ̀ gbogbo yẹn ló ń kọ̀ǹplé o kò sẹ́ni tí ó kọ̀ǹplé pé omi wà o kódà gan wọn fẹ́ rẹ́ǹtì ilé ládùúgbò torí omi yẹn ń gbà yẹn wọn fẹ́ máa rẹ́ǹtì ilé lọ́dọ̀ wa pé omi ò dáa.
The water is not drinkable. For example, when you look at this tank now, you can see the tank, that the water there, the tank is already contaminated. It's a serious pollution. The waters are not drinkable. We are releasing a series of letters to NNPC for the past 6 years without any response. So that is why we are calling on government to come and assist us in our area.
While addressing newsmen, the Executive Director, Akimbode Oluwafemi, charged the Lagos State government to abandon any ongoing or future plans to privatize water services. Also speaking, Comrade Gbemisola Ahmed, a representative from the Amalgamated Union of Public Corporation, described water privatization as first solution to the very real challenges that residents face.
For emphasis, we categorically reject any plan by the Lagos State government, any ongoing or future plan to privatize water services, as has been stated repeatedly and demonstrated globally that public-private partnerships offer no real solution to our water challenges.
As the world commemorates World Water Day 2024, our Water Our Rights African Coalition, OWARAC, urges government at all levels to commit to fulfilling the human rights to safe drinking water.
The CAPA Executive Director urged government to strengthen regulatory oversight and implement proper reparation mechanism in local communities affected by water injustice like contamination, scarcity, and inaccessibility. Mabel Obaseki, HOMEF TV.
Gelegele is a community that has been ravaged by unending gas flare, bludgeoning right in the hearts of the community, with flow station close to residential buildings. Residents of this community see themselves as victims of this mindless exploration and exploitation by big corporations. This was made known in a one-day capacity building workshop geared towards building the capacity of community persons to advocate for the needed change through non-violent actions and to diagnose the critical social ecological challenges of their communities. Our correspondent Jude Ifeanyichukwu has the reports.
Gelegele community is one of the several communities in Niger Delta to be abandoned by the IOCs operating there. This community is in the Ovia Northeast local government area of Edo State and has been faced with continuous flaring of gas right in the middle of the community. In a one-day capacity building workshop, community members noted that there is negligence on the part of the corporation on risk assessment, which has failed to provide protection to the people. In a welcome address, chairman of the host community network, Prince Babs Pawuru, stressed the need for community members to work together in achieving a united front that will put an end to gas flare in the community.
Right, this gas was supposed to stay inside the community. Maybe this how they put her. Our papa and mama, when they like that, they don't know our right. But now we don't know our right. When we don't know our right, finish, they don't make us know. They will make us know further. And they will make us understand. Though we said no already, say if they give us bad things. Since yesterday when I come in, they are not this people. Time at the state, this plot. You will not say temperature high, but here it got the high. The last time I come measure that temperature was 53 degrees Celsius.
Our eye they red, what did they cause am? Because our vegetables themselves not they good again. And we know they use fertilizer, they plant for this community before. But the way the thing can be now, we not just understand. So we dey vex for Dubri. Even when we start to the fish, the thing not be like me. I be fisher woman who come farm. My mother train me well for that one. I be fisher woman, even farm. I dey see they do farm. Cassava when we dey plant now, they know they produce well.
Some of the things will make us agitate that year. Number one, if they see gas flare for inside our community where they burn our hearts. They don't plant gas flare inside the heart of our inside our heart, make it take the bonus. Then inside that one, we know they see scholarship, we know they see good road, we don't see good hospitals. Today now, if you move around this community now, you're not going to see good hospital. Now this healthcare center with there are no drugs.
Programs Manager and Project Lead, Fosi Politics, at the Health of Motherhood Foundation, HOMEF, stressed the need for community people to own the process of advocating for a better environment, while emphasizing that the need for a non-violent approach in making their claims.
We are here to sit with the community people to hear those stories and also for us to talk together about solidarity, integration and responsibility. And we have heard it from them that there is a common demand that cut across what the communities need, and that is that Dubri oil must go. So it is a call that this environmental injustice must stop. This destruction of the people's environment, their livelihoods, and the people themselves must stop.
Come together. We say this thing when we dey see for our place, so e no good make una take am comot. And by the time when everybody voice don dey the matter, they go know say yes, these people dey really serious. But again, these people when they do all this kata for our community, so one thing when they do us so when they don't make us they fit get power. Now say that they do what they call divide and rule tactics. The opposite of solidarity now divide and rule, to divide the people, division.
The training, which advocated for a healthy environment, encouraged community members to build solidarity, integration, and responsibility as a way of achieving their objectives to realizing reparation, restoration, and healing of their environment. Community members took up the responsibility to engage right sources in achieving victory. Judy Chuku, HOMEF TV.
As oil companies in Nigeria's Niger Delta divest from onshore assets and expand their deep-sea extraction activities, We the People, a non-governmental organization, has launched a series of community engagement forums to hold companies accountable and demand that they clean up the mess they have created in the Niger Delta region. The engagement also seek responsibilities from insurance companies that continue to support climate-destructive fossil fuel projects. Stanley Egolo completes the report.
We the People rallied a diverse group of community members around the urgent need to oppose the unjust divestment of oil firms. The town hall meetings were held in two communities in Egi and Rumekbe communities where Shell, Eni, and Total Energies have been extracting oil for decades. The town hall meeting highlighted the importance of holding the companies accountable for the environmental degradation and ecological injustice inflicted on the region and its people. The interaction also underscored how the unexpected withdrawal of IOCs from the region not only perpetuates the Niger Delta's historical neglect but also exacerbates the people's socioeconomic and environmental difficulties. We the People's project lead, Grace Apollos, shed light on the intricate connection between divestment and the role of insurance companies in perpetuating destructive fossil fuel extraction.
Communities have lost lands, they've lost lives, they've lost livelihoods. I mean, communities who contribute zero to little of the current environment and climate crisis that we face. So we are calling on insurance companies all over the world to stop ensuring any further new project of fossil fuel. We are demanding, as a matter of fact, that one, insurance company cease insuring new project of fossil fuel. We are demanding that insurance companies respect the rights of communities, especially the one to live in a clean and healthy environment.
It is a bad signal in the sense that the Total in the community, the share Total and Ajib Oil Company in the community today, and NDPR, they have done a great hand to this community. So, ensuring our future, how can we share our future when the future is not bright? So today, early now that they share before they leave or before they're about to leave this community, they should do the needful. They should remediate the environment.
Community members voiced worries about the recent divestment initiatives by IOCs, particularly Shell, ExxonMobil, Total Energies, and Eni, which were carried out in secret and without engagement with communities that have hosted oil exploration for decades. The attempt to live clandestinely has left local populations dealing with the severe repercussions of environmental deterioration, livelihood loss, and a destroyed ecosystem. Stanley Egolo, HOMEF TV.
Recognizing the need for gender mainstreaming in the implementation of the National Action Plan on Gender and Climate Change, Kebekache Women Development and Resource Center, with support from Oxfam Nigeria, organized a two-day capacity building workshop on National Action Plan on Gender and Climate Change. The key objective of the workshop was to integrate the initiation and implementation of the National Action Plan on Gender and Climate Change in Nigeria at community level. Esele Ojanelu completes the report.
It is recorded that women lack opportunities to be engaged or prioritized in climate change discussions, with limitations for them to contribute to decisions taken on the development strategies for their communities. During the engagement, Kebekache engaged community leaders, women leaders, municipal authorities, and local government councillors of the Buari Area Council, Abuja, to promote a deeper understanding of the National Action Plan on Gender and Climate Change, while advocating for the implementation of the action plan at community level. During the training, Mujida Ajibola delivered a presentation on exploring the intersection of gender and climate change, particularly focusing on the community level.
Know that policies are as good as their implementation plans. If there's a policy in place and the implementation is weak, it's just as good as a piece of paper on a shelf. So we are looking at localizing this, working with people in the local communities, legislators, community members, representatives of the women, representatives of the market women, everybody coming together to chime in to see how they can understand what is in the National Action Plan on Gender and Climate Change, take it back to their communities and translate it into advocacy plans and, more importantly, implementation action.
The Bekase is trying to promote gender balance. We are trying to create gender equality in the society and trying to ensure that women are being included in decision-making processes in different levels, starting from the communities to the state to the national. So we ensure that women are being carried along, women are being heard, not only be seen, women have the ability to speak for themselves.
So we realize that in our society, the most marginalized groups are women and the youth. So right now we inequality that happen in our society as a result of lack of trainings and all of that. So today we're not just building the capacity of women but also men to understand the need for inclusion in the society.
Other presentations were on advocacy for localizing the National Action Plan on Gender and Climate Change, climate adaptation and mitigation, and gender and climate change, a case for gender mainstreaming. Participants deliberated and came up with an implementable action plan for their communities, focusing on designing comprehensive strategies and preparing formal documents to communicate their climate action.
That in our everyday life, we should be conscious of the activities that we play, the roles that we stand for as individuals, because most of the things that we do affect either us or our surrounding environment.
It will be a benefit to me and my people. It's not only me absorbing, but to all of my people, that they will know, yes, there's something that is going on, that they will see the change even on our society.
Participants provided valuable insights into the multifaceted approach that was required to tackle the challenges posed by climate change, emphasizing the need for coordinated efforts in their local communities. Other stakeholders from government ministries, CSOs, and media engaged to help mainstream gender inclusion and voices in climate change. Esele Ojianelu, HOMEF TV.
In a recent community assembly and town hall meeting organized by Health of Mother Earth Foundation, HOMEF, to train community people on developing environmental monitoring reports and the need to interrogate the root cause of climate change from communities' perspective, participants who were drawn from 2 Niger Delta communities in Nigeria learned the skills that will help them mobilize their communities for the protection of their land and livelihood rights while bringing about healing. The project, which began in Okorotip and Eteo community, have had series of training exercise due to similar environmental challenges experienced in both communities. Stanley Egolo completes the report.
With the use of cultural tools and different training mechanisms that will bring about healing, Health of Mother Earth Foundation, HOMEF, says it has not come to divide communities, but ensure that communities live in peace and harmony. With daily trauma faced from pollution and loss of livelihood, community people grapple with how healing can occur from the issues faced in communities. The training explored different means how community people can heal themselves. The communities use diagnostic approaches to tell the stories of their experiences with the impacts of pollution and strategies for survival and experiences of how oil spill has caused a huge destruction to their various sources which the community people depend on.
In sea now, there's a place you go to see, you have many fish. Now they put gunboat all around. You don't go close to their pipeline. And that's exactly where we fish. They put gunboat around. You don't close there.
You're supposed to come from Ibno. But when you come to Ibno, you will shed tears. It's not the community that you see where Mobile is dwelling. They cheat us a lot. They are using their work to kill our destiny, to kill ourselves.
The worst of all is the company that involved in this thing does not care whether anything happens. They were wanting you to do riot so that they can bring their angry policemen to kill you and say you come to thief that thing. That is just what they are trying. But the HOMEF have taught us to be careful, to be patient, to be legally composed.
Executive Director of Health of Motherhood Foundation, Nemo Basi, who spoke about land grab and extractivism issues, placed emphasis on the value of land, which is important. Basi noted that land can be grabbed by oil pollution, and it is dangerous as it affects different means of survival, from the mangrove to the food and even culture.
Stop looking for new oil and stop burning the ones. Maybe if you burn some that they found already, just when that one finished, let it just close. But for a country like Nigeria, it's now we want to make money from oil. But unfortunately, I think the oil will don't start to dry up. That's why they don't fit produce. Even when OPEC say they produce, they cannot meet it again.
I just say make I add and join them, just to tell you, say, all the communities when all this oil and gas exploration and exploitation, they take place, we are all suffering. Even if they paint one, say one, they find past the other one. Now lie you.
The training witnessed cultural display from community members. Community persons were educated on ways of dealing with trauma and the importance of using cultural tools for healing trauma with respect to cultural humility and sensitivity to the diverse needs and preference of individuals and community people. From Okorotip in Ibno local government area of Akwa Ibom State, Stanley Egolo.
Otuabagi and Otuogidi community in Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State, where the first oil well in Nigeria was drilled as against the backdrop of name titled by Shell. Otuabagi community is host to the first oil well in West Africa, where crude oil was struck in commercial quantity in 1956. After Shell's announcement of divestment, HOMEF TV crew visited the location. Sadly, the cry of environmental activists remains unheard. The report.
This is Otuabagi community in Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State, where the first oil well that was sold in large quantity was found. This well is said to have been decommissioned and abandoned, yet still spills. In a recent visit to Oloibiri district, location of the wellhead, it was discovered that some of the wells are being scavenged while some still produce oil. The youth leader of the community of Otuabagi stated that nothing has changed since his birth till date, and cost of living have gone worse despite the presence of Shell's facility. Environmentalists decried the decay done to the land by the abandonment and the environmental and economic impacts of the community.
Through when maybe I follow my grandmom to farm here, and till then I have not maybe seen anything, any benefit. We have not achieved anything here. You can see if thought of maybe benefit something from it.
The crude oil content is still same after years of abandonment of this property by Shell. It's unacceptable. It really shows that these people don't care for the land, and this is the time to act.
This is well 6 within the Oloibiri oil field, Otuabagi environment. After Shell had abandoned this environment, saying the oil wells are dry. But this is a clear testimony to say that the wells are not dry. And it is unfortunate that there has been no proper decommissioning since they left. Two owners, if at all, IQ, have also not come to see the landlords. So this divestment of a thing, we are saying communities need to be properly informed. Shell and the federal government, who are partners in the oil business, also need to do proper auditing of the environment.
HOMEF TV crew, in a recent visit to the community, notes that the divestment without restoration, reparation and remediation is disastrous, following the sight of scavenged wellhead left unattended to and oil still spilling. The government and owners should take immediate action in putting in place the wellhead to protect lives of the people and the ecosystem. Kome Odomo for HOMEF TV.
A non-profit organization, Africa Institute for Environmental Governance, AFIEGO, has gathered community stories of ill treatment of Total Energy against people in Uganda. The group compiled stories following Total's celebration of 100 years of existence. The story, published in a booklet, talked about the legacy left of affected communities and the lives of its people. The stories are about people whose land has been compulsorily acquired by Total's Tilinga and East African Crude Oil Pipeline, ECOPS project. These people ranged from Gloria Tweka, a 30-year-old single mother, to Issa Bowe and Lenu Okela, amongst others. Gloria says her life has been filled with stress and anxiety as a result of the project. Others says the worsening disability, loss of livelihoods and partner are some of the stress brought by ECOP projects. Community members, contrary to the company's commitment to provide assistance or pay attention to the vulnerable people, they have heaped untold hardship on the people. AFIEGO invites the general public to read the community stories that shows what Total's development is, which is measured in pipelines and profit margin rather than dignity and well-being. You've been watching the news on HOMEF TV, but before we go, we'll take the recap. School of Ecology addresses fossil addiction and healing in oil-impacted communities. CAPA urges the government to solve water inaccessibility in Nigeria. Gele community demands end to gas exploitation. We the People takes campaign to communities, holds oil companies and their partners accountable. Oil well abandonment, the legacy beneath. Thank you for staying with us. I am Kome Odomo.